So now that napag-usapan na natin ng complete emergency framework, pati yung tamang response flow na recognize, alarm, assess, stop work, evacuate or shelter, account, first aid, coordinate and report, i-apply naman natin yun sa actual service industry scenarios. Unahin natin ang isa sa pinaka-common at pinaka-seryosong office emergencies, and that is fire or smoke in the office area. Sa corporate office, wag nating isipin na mababa ang fire risk just because wala tayong heavy equipment. So if i-connecta natin ito sa response flow natin, ang first step is recognize. Pag may naamoy kang sunog, may nakita kang usok, may abnormal heat o may electrical burning smell, wag mo agad i-assume na maliit lang yon. I-recognize mo agad na pwedeng emergency na yon. Then the next step is raise the alarm. I-alert agad ang ibang tao. Early alarm is safer than delayed alarm. After that, stop work. Ibig sabihin, tigil muna ang calls, reports, meetings, email at laptop work. Kapag may fire or smoke situation na, life safety na ang priority, hindi work output. Then we go to evacuate through the nearest safe exit. Importante yung word na safe. Kung may smoke or danger sa isang side, wag ipilit doon. At very important reminder, do not use elevators. Stairwell or designated safe exit ang gamitin. Pagdating sa assembly area, doon naman papasok ang accountability. Kailangan mag-head count ang supervisors or team leaders para makumpirma kung sino ang safe, sino ang missing, at kung may kailangan pang i-report sa response team. At very important din, wait for clearance before re-entry. Kahit may naiwan pang bag, phone, laptop, ID o personal items, huwag nang balikan. Re-entry should only happen kapag authorized na. Now, pagdating naman sa paggamit ng fire extinguisher, pwede lang ito kung pasok sa tamang conditions. Trained personnel may use it only if maliit pa ang fire, tama ang extinguisher, trained ang gagamit, clear ang escape route, at hindi pa spreading ang fire. Kapag lumalaki ng apoy, makapal ang usok, o unsafe na ang area, ang tamang action is evacuate, not firefight. So if ibubuod natin ang tamang response dito, ganito ang flow. Recognize the smoke or fire, raise the alarm, stop work, evacuate safely, proceed to assembly area, conduct head count, wait for official clearance. So sa office fire, huwag unahin ang laptop, bag o files. Unahin ang alarm, evacuation at life safety. The correct response to fire or smoke in an office area is to treat it seriously, alert others immediately, stop work, evacuate using the nearest safe exit, avoid elevators, proceed to the assembly area, and wait for official clearance before re-entry. So from fire, let's move to another very realistic emergency sa office setting, and that is earthquake during office hours. Maganda itong i-compare sa fire kasi parehong serious emergency pero magkaiba ang immediate response. Sa fire, usually evacuation agad ang iniisip natin. Pero sa earthquake, hindi laging ang first move ay tumakbo agad palabas. Kaya importante talagang alam ng workers ang tamang sequence of action depende sa type of emergency. Kapag may lindol habang nasa office hours, ang immediate response during the actual shaking is drop, cover, and hold on. Ibig sabihin, drop, yamuko o bumaba agad para hindi ka mawalan ng balance. Cover, humanap ng protection tulad ng matibay na desk or table kung available. Hold on, kumapit hanggang tumigil ang pagyanig. Habang nangyayari ang shaking, ang workers dapat lumayo sa glass walls, windows, shelves, cabinets, hanging fixtures, monitors, at anumang pwedeng mahulog o tumumba. Ito ang importante sa office setting kasi marami tayong glass partitions, suspended ceilings, office cabinets, data racks, electrical rooms, at elevators. Kahit mukhang normal ang office, marami pa ring pwedeng maging hazard kapag malakas ang lindol. So if i-connect na natin ito sa response flow natin, ang first step is still recognize. Kapag naramdaman mo na ang strong shaking, huwag nang maghintay pa ng second confirmation. Treat it as an actual emergency. Pero unlike fire, ang next action is not automatic evacuation habang nanginginig pa. Ang tamang immediate response is protect yourself first through drop, cover, and hold on. Pagkatapos huminto ang pagyanig, saka papasok ang next part ng response. Stay calm, listen to instructions, evacuate calmly if instructed, avoid elevators, proceed to the assembly area, expect aftershocks. Report injuries or hazards. At very important ulit, do not use elevators. Stairwell ang dapat gamitin kapag evacuation after earthquake. Pagdating sa assembly area, dun naman papasok ang accountability. Kailangan ng head count, confirmation of injuries, at reporting ng anumang hazards na napansin tulad ng basag na glass na hulog, na fixtures, unstable cabinets, exposed wiring, damaged electrical room or elevator problem. At tandaan din na pwedeng may aftershock. So hindi ibig sabihin na safe na agad ang building dahil tumigil na ang unang lindol. Kailangan pa rin controlled ang movement at authorized ang re-entry. So sa lindol, ang tamang mindset is this. During shaking, protect yourself first. After shaking, saka ang calm and controlled evacuation. The correct response during earthquake and office hours is to drop, cover, and hold on while the shaking is happening. Stay away from falling or breaking hazards, and after the shaking stops, evacuate calmly if instructed. Avoid elevators, proceed to the assembly area, expect aftershocks, and report injuries or hazards. So from earthquake, let's move to another very common office scenario, and that is medical emergency. Importante ito kasi sa service industry workplace, hindi lahat ng emergency ay fire, earthquake, or evacuation. Minsan, ang emergency ay bigla ang health event involving one worker, one visitor, or someone in the team. At dito, very important ang calm response, scene safety, at tamang coordination. Ang medical emergency pwedeng mag-involve ng fainting, seizure, chest pain, stroke symptoms, asthma attack, allergic reaction, fall injury, electric shock, severe bleeding, or even panic attack. So if i-connect natin ito sa response flow natin, ang first step pa rin is recognize. Kapag may worker na bumagsak, nahirap ang huminga, nag-seizure, may matinding bleeding, o hindi normal ang response, huwag i-ignore at huwag isipin na baka okay lang yan. Treat it seriously. The next step is call the first aider or clinic immediately. Kung may clinic personnel or company nurse, i-contact agad sila. Kung severe ang situation, prepare na rin for ambulance or outside medical response. After that, clear the area. Ito ang madalas nakakalimutan. Kapag may medical emergency, instinct ng mga tao ay lumapit agad, magtanong, o mag-video pa minsan. Pero ang tamang response is i-clear ang paligid at avoid crowding. Kailangan may space ang first aider, clinic personnel, or responders. Then, very important ulit, check scene safety first. Halimbawa, kung ang worker ay na-injure malapit sa electrical source, exposed wires, slippery floor, or unstable object, huwag agad hahawak ng hindi muna tine-check kung safe ba ang area. Ayaw natin na dumami ang victim. Kung train ka at safe ang scene, pwede ka magbigay ng first aid within your training. Pero kung hindi ka trained, ang best help mo ay tumawag agad ng tamang responder, i-clear ang daan, mag-control ng crowd, at magbigay ng accurate information sa first aider or clinic staff. Kung kailangan, call ambulance or arrange hospital referral. At after the incident, dapat may documentation. Importante ito for reporting, follow-up, investigation if needed, at future prevention. At isang very important reminder, employees should not move the patient unless there is immediate danger. Kasi kung mali ang paggalaw, pwedeng lumala ang injury, especially kung may fall, neck injury, seizure, fracture, or possible spinal problem. Now, from medical emergency, let's move naman to a different type of office incident, power failure. At first glance, parang simple lang ito compared sa fire or medical emergency. Pero sa office setting, ang power failure pwedeng mabilis maging safety issue, operational issue, at business continuity issue all at the same time. In offices, ang power failure can affect a lot of things at once. Hindi lang ilaw ang nawawala, pwede ring maapektuhan ang lighting, elevators, computer systems, access control, emergency communication, air conditioning, and even security systems. So ang first correct response is remain calm. Huwag magpanic just because biglang nag-blackout or nawalan ng monitor display. Minsan, ang bigger danger sa ganitong situation ay confusion, especially kung sabay-sabay tayo, gagalaw, o maghahanap ng sarili nilang paraan ng walang coordination. The next step is use emergency lighting if available. Kaya importante rin na working ang emergency lights before pa mangyari ang incident. Kapag madilim, mas mataas ang risk ng trip, fall, collision, or panic movement. Then, stop unsafe activities. Halimbawa, huwag ipilit ang work sa dark area, huwag piliting gamitin ang affected equipment, huwag pumasok sa unsafe stairway or technical room, huwag ituloy ang anumang task na magiging dangerous without power or visibility. At very important reminder, avoid using elevators during power failure. Kahit hindi naman lahat ng power failure ay may entrapment agad, mas safe pa rin na huwag nang gumamit ng elevator habang unstable ang power situation. Next, follow facility instructions. Sa office or shared building setup, pwedeng may building administration, facility team, or security na magbibigay ng update. Huwag basta mag-assume kung mag-evacuate ba, mananatili ba, o babalik ba agad sa workstation. Controlled instruction pa rin ang susundin. If safe to do so, pwede ring secure sensitive operations. Halimbawa, kung may critical system, sensitive client process, restricted access file, or confidential material na kailangang i-secure habang may power issue, gawin lang ito kung safe at may tamang instruction. Kung hindi safe, life safety pa rin ang priority. And then, wait for management or facility updates. Huwag manghula, huwag mag-spread ng unverified info, at huwag gumawa ng sariling decision na pwedeng makagulo sa overall response. Kung ang power failure ay nakaapekto na sa critical operations, dito papasok ang business continuity plan. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng mag-shift to backup system, alternate process, remote support, or continuity measures depende sa company procedure. The proper response during power failure is to remain calm, use emergency lighting, stop unsafe activities, avoid elevators, follow facility instructions, secure sensitive operations if safe, and wait for management or facility updates. If critical operations are affected, the business continuity plan should be activated. So from power failure, let's move to another office-related emergency na very possible mangyari sa buildings and corporate facilities, and that is elevator entrapment. Importante ito kasi sa service industry setting, madalas nasa multi-floor office tayo, at kapag may technical issue, pwedeng may matrap sa elevator. Hindi man ito laging life-threatening agad, pwede pa rin ito magdulot ng panic, medical distress, at unsafe rescue attempts kung mali ang response. Kapag may workers na natrap sa elevator, ang first instruction is remain calm. Kasi isa sa pinakaunang danger sa elevator entrapment ay panic. Kapag nagpanic ang tao, pwedeng mahirapan huminga, mag-hyperventilate, o gumawa ng unsafe action like piliting buksan ang door o subukang lumabas ng hindi safe. So ang tamang response ng nasa loob is stay calm. Use the emergency call button, contact security or building administration, wait for trained elevator technicians or responders. Ibig sabihin, ang trap worker should focus on communication and staying calm, not self-rescue. Ngayon, para naman sa mga nasa labas, very important ang reminder, employees outside should not attempt to force open elevator doors. Bakit? Kasi pwedeng hindi naka-level ang elevator cabin, pwedeng magka-gap, pwedeng may mechanical movement, at pwedeng lalong mapahamak ang trap person. So ang role ng security and facility personnel is to coordinate with building management, contact trained elevator technicians, call emergency responders if needed, keep the area controlled, give calm updates to the trap workers if possible. Sa elevator entrapment, ang goal is controlled rescue, not improvised rescue. The correct response to elevator entrapment is to stay calm, use the emergency call system, contact security or building administration, and wait for trained responders. Employees outside should never force open elevator doors. Now, from elevator entrapment, let's move naman to a hazard na minsan minamaliit sa office setting, and that is chemical exposure from cleaning materials. Kasi kapag sinabing chemical hazard, madalas ang iniisip agad ng tao ay factory or laboratory. Pero kahit service workplace lang, may chemical exposure risk pa rin. Even in service workplaces, pwedeng may chemical risks from disinfectants, cleaning agents, toner, pest control chemicals, maintenance chemicals, or pantry gas cylinders. So hindi porke office setting, harmless na agad. May chemicals na pwedeng maka-irritate ng skin, eyes, or breathing. Meron ding pwedeng mag-cause ng burns, fumes, or dangerous reaction kapag mali ang handling. Kapag may chemical exposure or suspected spill, ang first step is stop the exposure. Ibig sabihin, huwag nang manatili sa area kung doon ka na-expose. Move away agad from the source if safe. then the next step is inform security or facility management. Kung may safety officer, ERT, or trained spill responder, sila ang dapat ma-alert. Huwag i-assume na ordinary cleaning issue lang ito. If available, pwedeng i-check ang safety data sheet para makita kung anong hazard at ano ang tamang first response. Pero ang mahalagang reminder dito, do not touch the chemical. Do not mix chemicals. Do not improvise. Do not try to clean the spill kung hindi ka trained. Kung may exposure sa mata o balat, use eye wash or washing facilities if available and appropriate. After that, seek medical evaluation kapag needed. And this is a very important line. Untrained employees should not clean chemical spills. Kasi maling response sa chemical spill pwedeng magdulot ng dagdag na exposure, fumes, burns, or contamination. Chemical spill is not ordinary housekeeping. Hazard control activity yan. Now, from chemical exposure, let's move to another common scenario sa Philippine setting, and that is typhoon, flooding, or severe weather. Ito ay very relevant sa service industry workplaces kasi kahit nasa office tayo, affected pa rin tayo ng weather conditions, building access, travel safety, flooding, and utility disruption. Kapag severe weather ang usapan, very important ang early monitoring and early communication. The company must monitor advisories, communicate early, secure office equipment, protect documents and electrical systems, prepare remote work arrangements where applicable, coordinate with building administration. Ibig sabihin, ang good response sa typhoon or flooding, hindi naghihintay na critical na bago kikilos. Dapat habang may warning pa lang, nagpa-plan na ang company kung ano ang gagawin. For example, secured na ba ang important records? Safe ba ang electrical equipment? May update na ba sa workers? Kailangan na bang mag-early release? May work from home arrangement ba kung needed? Okay bang coordination with building management? Kapag actual flooding na, very important ang worker reminders. Do not cross flood water. Do not touch wet electrical equipment. Do not leave the workplace without safe travel instructions. Kasi ang flood water, pwedeng may hidden hazard. Pwedeng may live wire, open drain, slippery surface, contaminated water, or unstable footing. At kung hindi pa safe ang travel conditions, hindi rin dapat bara-bara ang pag-uwi. Dapat may controlled instruction from management, facility, or local guidance. Sa severe weather, the best response usually starts before the worst part of the event. The correct response to typhoon, flooding, or severe weather is to monitor advisories early, communicate early, secure equipment and records, coordinate with building administration, and avoid unsafe movement during flooding or electrical hazard conditions. So if mapapansin ninyo, iba-iba man ang scenario, elevator entrapment, chemical exposure, or severe weather, ang common rule is the same. Stay calm, avoid unsafe action, follow the right reporting line, and protect life first before property or convenience. So now that napag-usapan na natin ang iba't ibang emergency scenarios tulad ng fire, earthquake, medical emergency, power failure, elevator entrapment, chemical exposure, at severe weather, mapapansin natin na kahit iba-ibang incident, may isang bagay na pare-parehong critical sa lahat, and that is communication. Kasi kahit tama ang procedure, kung magulo naman ang instructions, pwedeng mag-panic ang tao, ma-delay ang response, at mas lumaki pa ang problem. So, pagdating sa emergency communication in corporate workplaces, ang pinaka-rule natin is during emergencies, communication must be short, clear, and controlled. Hindi ito iyong time para sa mahahabang explanation. Hindi rin ito iyong time para sa sabay-sabay na utos na iba-iba ang sinasabi. Ang kailangan ng workers during emergency ay malinaw na instruction na madaling sundan. A good emergency message should answer these questions. What happened? Where did it happen? What should people do? Where should they go? Who is in charge? Is first aid or external response needed? Kapag nasagot ng announcement ang mga tanong na yan, mas mababa ang chance ng confusion. For example, sa fire situation, pwedeng ganito ang message. Attention everyone, smoke has been reported near the pantry area on the 5th floor. Please stop work, evacuate through the nearest safe stairwell, and proceed to Assembly Area 1. Do not use elevators. Team leaders, conduct head count and report to the floor marshal. Magandang ganitong message kasi kompleto. May hazard identified, may location, may action required, may destination, at may instruction for leaders after evacuation. Kung medical emergency naman, pwedeng ganito. Medical emergency at the 3rd floor operations area. First aider and clinic personnel, please proceed to the location. Employees, clear the walkway and do not crowd around the patient. Security, prepare ambulance access. Again, malinaw na saan ang incident, sino ang dapat pumunta, ano ang gagawin ng ibang workers at anong support ang kailangan from security. Kung earthquake naman, after the shaking stops. Earthquake shaking has stopped. Please remain calm. Evacuate using the stairwell if instructed by the floor marshal. Do not use elevators. Proceed to the assembly area and wait for head count. Dito importante ang calm instruction. Hindi mo tinatakot ang tao, pero hindi mo rin sila binibigyan ng vague na message. Clear ang direction, clear ang movement, at clear ang expectation. Then, for suspicious package or security alert. Security alert, a suspicious item has been reported near the reception area. Do not touch or approach the item. Please follow security instructions and move away from the area calmly. Mapapansin ninyo na sa ganitong klaseng incident, importanteng iwasan ang unnecessary detail na pwedeng mag-cause ng panic. Ang focus dapat ay clear safety instruction. So, ang main lesson dito is this: emergency communication should guide action, not create more confusion. Kapag emergency, be direct, be calm, be specific, and say only what people need to know right away. Effective emergency communication in the workplace should be short, clear, and controlled. A good message should tell people what happened, where it happened, what action is required, where to go, who is in charge, and whether first aid or outside responders are needed.